I have always despised these ceremonies. Every few years the Republic Council gathers to induct yet another soft-skinned, peaceful species into their fold, and every time the same tired ritual unfolds. Some timid, thin-limbed creature steps up to the podium to proudly share the dullest facts imaginable about its uneventful world, its predictable history, its utter lack of adversity. They speak of mild storms as disasters, of tiny skirmishes as wars, and of survival as if they have ever truly fought for it. My people, the Var, evolved on what the Republic calls a death world. While other species grazed through peaceful ages, we endured a planet that tried to kill us daily. Weather, predators, scarcity, everything was a threat. We forged intelligence because stupidity died. We forged strength because weakness starved. And we forged strategy because instinct alone was too slow. Yet the Republic chooses to see only our teeth and claws, not our art, our history, or the fact that intelligence has always been our greatest weapon. Most species in the Council think of us as brutish and impulsive, as if the harshness of our world left no room for culture. Their ignorance is both predictable and exhausting. Nevertheless, my father, the Emperor, insists we maintain appearances. So I, Var Axion, son of Emperor Var, sit once more in this chamber waiting for another tedious presentation. My father will make me recount every detail afterward, so I cannot even allow myself the pleasure of tuning out. The only faint silver lining is the presence of Delegate Jai of the Juth Combine, seated annoyingly close. Her people are one of the few who have ever experienced real conflict, though theirs was brief and small. She at least understands war, which makes her slightly more bearable. Today, however, she seems far too amused for my liking. "Delegate Var," she murmurs, "you may actually want to pay attention to this one." She rarely warns me about anything unless she intends to toy with my expectations, so despite myself I listen. The chamber lights dim. A display announces the arrival of a newly discovered species. "Introducing Delegate Smith of Humanity United." At first glance, I expect another fragile organism with nothing to offer, but the human who steps into view surprises me. Pale, yes. Soft-skinned, yes. But not frail. His musculature is real, not the bloated softness of low-gravity creatures, but the forged strength of someone who has lived under pressure. His posture wavers slightly, overcorrecting like mine does in low gravity, which tells me his world must be heavy. Interesting. Already more intriguing than the last 20 delegations combined. The human clears his throat. "My people call ourselves human. Humanity, collectively." His voice is deep, steady. He mentions having hundreds of languages, an oddity shared only by my own people's clans. The display behind him shifts to a map of their star system, and when their planet appears with its specifications, I sit forward. Earth is massive, with gravity nearly identical to Var, an atmosphere dense and turbulent, and a mineral composition that could have been taken straight from our own crust. It is, by galactic standards, a harsh world. For the first time in years, I feel genuine interest rising. The human continues casually. "Most of our planet is covered in water, but 97% of that water is poisonous to us." That alone speaks of adversity. He shows images, deserts that scorch and freeze in a single day, jungles thick with venom and predators, oceans that churn with storms, mountains and tundras where survival itself is a challenge. And humanity survived all of it before they ever touched agriculture. The murmurs in the council chamber swell. Many delegates glance at me. The similarities are too plain to ignore. But then the human reveals something that freezes the room. "Even these dangers pale compared to the greatest threat on Earth, humans. Before we were discovered, 1.5 billion of us had died in wars. And that number excludes murder and accidents." The sudden silence is palpable. I rise to my feet. Among the Var, standing when one could sit is a sign of utmost respect. Many in the chamber misinterpret the gesture as aggression, as always, but Jai glances at me with knowing satisfaction. The human has done his research. He is echoing, point by point, the introduction speech our great ancestor Var Known once gave when we joined the Republic, an infamous speech meant to terrify. That the human discovered it, and chose to reflect its structure is no coincidence. It is a declaration. We understand you. Smith continues through humanity's history, their early endurance hunting strategy, chasing prey for entire days until the animals collapsed from exhaustion, their rise from tribes to villages to empires, their conflicts over scarce water, land, metals, their invention of armor, vehicles, guns, missiles, and finally atomic bombs. Their history mirrors ours more closely than any species I have ever seen. And as I watch the Council react in horror to humanity's violence, ambition, creativity, and contradictions, I cannot help but laugh, loudly and uncontrollably, because at long last the galaxy must accept the truth it has always ignored. The Var are not alone. When the ceremony ends, Jai smirks at me. "Well, do you like them?" For the first time in my life, I grin back. "Yes," I say. "Yes, I do." Meanwhile, as I, the human John Smith, step out of the council hall, I am shocked that I didn't somehow ruin everything. The higher-ups at home made me rewrite my speech so many times I started reciting it in my sleep. Half of them thought it was too aggressive. The other half thought it wasn't aggressive enough. And me? I'm just a retired soldier they picked because no one wanted to risk an actual diplomat on our first alien introduction. Somehow, miraculously, it went well. Too well, maybe. Delegates from a dozen species swarmed me afterward to ask about human art, music, sports, and why people willingly jump off cliffs with wingsuits. The Juth Combined rep offered me what I think was a cookie but tasted more like spicy soap. It was a weird day. The dining hall is buzzing until it suddenly goes dead silent. I realize instantly something is behind me. Something big. I turn slowly to see the Var delegate, Axion, the giant-scaled warrior built like a military vehicle, walking straight toward me. The brass had warned me extensively about the various. "Do not offend them," they said. "Do not gesture incorrectly. Do not touch them unless invited. Do not challenge them. Never extend your hand." And then Axion walks up and extends his hand for a handshake. "Hello, Delegate Smith," he rumbles. "I am Var Axion. I would like to discuss terms for a human-Var cultural exchange. Do you accept?" His hand remains outstretched. I vaguely remember my diplomatic manual warning that a Var extending their hand can be a dominance gesture, a challenge. But staring at him, towering over me with an expression I can't decipher, I realize something simple. He is offering me a handshake. I take it. His grip is like iron, and he pulls me slightly closer while staring straight into my eyes. I refuse to break eye contact. Eventually he releases me and makes a deep rumbling sound like rolling boulders. "Retired soldier," he says. "I like it. I am a warrior as well." Before I can protest, he invites me, or rather leads me, to a private room to talk. Var drinks, I soon learn, are extremely strong. One cup feels like a punch to the soul. By the third cup, we are swapping stories like old friends. He tells me about the Var's mandatory military service, about his brothers fighting over the imperial throne, about how the throne itself is so uncomfortable he prefers a heated rock. I tell him about deployment mishaps, old training exercises, and how humans voluntarily chase balls around fields for fun. At some point, we start laughing hysterically about something neither of us remembers clearly. There may or may not have been a friendly wrestling match. Hard to say. Whatever happened, when the embassy contacted me the next day, they congratulated me for forging a promising and unprecedented diplomatic bond with the Var Empire. which apparently means I am now the official go-to guy for all future human-VAR diplomatic interactions. Lucky me. Sometimes, I wish I had learned how to underachieve.